Alright, hello everyone, my name is Alice and welcome back to NetLab. Today we're going to be focused on Lab 11.4.2.7, File System Commands. To start, make sure you have your PDF open and your document downloaded, and then click on this link and log into NetLab using your username and password. Select New Lab Reservation, Schedule Lab for myself, CIS190C, Cisco IT Essentials V8, and then scroll to 11.4.2.7, which should be here on the second page. I want to start this lab right away, so I'm going to click directly below this red line. Remember, you cannot schedule a time that is before this red line. If you want to take the lab later, simply click anywhere on this sheet that works for you. I'm going to give myself some extra time since I'm instructing, but you should also always give yourself more time than you think you need. Because I scheduled my lab to start right away, I should now see a green Enter Lab button. If you don't see this button, wait until your lab's scheduled time has started, then refresh the page. To begin, we want to click on Win10-OS, then click or hit the spacebar to get to the login prompt, and enter in the password capital NDG lowercase labpass123 exclamation mark. Then hit enter. Now go to the search box in the lower left hand corner and type in CMD. Click or hit enter to launch it, and you should now see the command prompt. We will first start by entering in CD, or change directory, and then hit enter. You'll notice that it just prints out the directory that we are in. In this case, the cd command, when used alone, is analogous to the pwd, or print working directory command in Linux. Now, we are going to type dir, which is short for directory. This will list any files and folders that are inside the current directory that we are in. We want to next use md, or make directory, to create a new folder. So we will type md ite folder 1. Now, if we type dir, we should be able to see ite folder 1 right here. We can now continue by entering md ite folder 2 and md ite folder 3. Entering the dir command again should show our 3 folders. Now we want to get into ite folder 3. To do so, we enter in cd again, and this time follow it with ite folder 3. We are now in the folder. We want to create a 4th folder in this directory. To do so, we can type md, or in this case, just to show you that it's the same thing, I'll type mkdir ite folder 4. Typing dir should show you the folder has been created. Now, we can change the directory to ite folder 4. Now we shall create ite folder 5. And we can confirm that it's created by using the dir command. Now we shall cd into ite folder 5. As we've already shown, the cd command can be quite versatile. It can either print the current directory that you're in, enter into a new directory, and now I will show you that we can back out a singular level using the command. So, if we type in cd period period, we will go back one folder. If I hit the up arrow to autocomplete the last command that I entered, and type enter again, I'm now in ITE folder 3. However, you can also command it to go back to a specific folder in the chain. To do that, I'll simply type cd period period, which will cause us to go back one, so back into the sysadmin folder, and then backslash ITE folder 1. And if we do that, you see we've jumped to ITE folder 1. Now that we're in this folder, we're going to experiment a little bit with other commands. First, we'll use the echo command. So, echo, this is doc1.txt. Now you might notice we now use a greater than symbol. This is telling the command prompt to take whatever text that we just entered and place it into a file. In this case, we will create the file doc1.txt. Now, if we hit enter, we can now repeat that by going echo, this is doc2.txt, greater than symbol, doc2.txt. And we can then follow it with echo, this is file1.txt, greater than symbol, file1.txt. And echo, this is file2.txt, greater than symbol, file2.txt. And then hit enter. Now, we can verify that these files have all been created by using the dir command again. As you can see, doc1, doc2, file1, and file2. Now, you can use either type or more commands to view the contents of the file. I'll do one with type and one with more. So type doc1.txt. This now prints out the contents of the file, and more file1.txt. Now we're going to experiment a little bit with copying, deleting, and moving files around. So, one of the first commands that we want to use is actually very straightforward. So, we just need to type move, that's the move command, doc2.txt, the file that we want to move, c:\users /sysadmin /ITE folder 2. This is the destination directory that we want to move the file to. If we hit enter, it tells us that the file has been moved. And if we use dir, we can see that doc2 is now gone. Now, what we want to do is we will type cd space period period /ITE folder 2. Now, if we hit enter, we are now in ITE folder 2. And if we type dir, we can see that doc2.txt is now in this directory. Now we're going to use the copy file. This is, again, a very intuitive name. It literally just copies one file and pastes a copy of that file into another directory. Or the same directory if you so wish, but it must be a different name. So, copy doc2.txt. This is the source file name, and then doc2_copy.txt is our destination file name. We hit enter, and then dir, and you see we've now created a copy of the file. And if we use more doc2_copy.txt, you can see that it is indeed a copy because the information contained within is the same. Now we're going to move doc2_copy to ITE folder 1. And to do that, again, Very simple. Move doc2 underscore copy dot txt to space period period backslash ITE folder 1. Now you might notice the double period and backslash is the same as what we would do with the cd command. You might want to keep this in mind for any time after this that you have to work in the command prompt. It will make things much easier for you. If we hit enter, the file is moved. We're still in ITE folder 2, so we can do copy doc2.txt. We're creating another copy of doc2. Period period backslash ITE folder 1 backslash doc2 underscore new dot txt. What you might have noticed now is that not only can we just simply type in the path that we want to move the file to, we can also specify the file name inside this path. Case in point, we want to create a new file that is a copy of doc2.txt in ITE folder 1, and we can just do that by saying go out of the ITE folder 2 directory, move to ITE folder 1, and then place a new file called doc2 underscore new.txt into ITE folder 1. If we hit enter, the file will be copied. Now we can move the original doc2 into another folder. So, move doc2.txt period period backslash ITE folder 1 slash doc2 underscore move.txt. You might notice that we've given it a different name, but it's still the same file, and that's right. Let me just change it so the capitalization is correct. In this case, not only are we moving the original file to a new folder, but we are also renaming the file as we go. Oftentimes, using the command prompt or the Linux command line, you can chain together commands like this, and it saves you a lot of time and effort. Now, we want to go to ITE folder 1 and view the directory information for that folder. But we're still in folder 2. So, what do? Well, we can simply type dir period period. So, go back one into the sysadmin folder, backslash ITE folder 1. So this is now telling us that we want to list the directory information for ITE folder 1, and we give it the instruction of going back one and then looking for it there. And if we hit enter, you'll see that we now have doc1, doc2 copy, doc2 move, doc2 new, file 1, and file 2 all together. Now we simply want to cd into ITE folder 1, cd period period backslash ITE folder 1. Now we're in. And now we want to move our two file text documents into ITE folder 3. We're going to be using something called a wildcard character, which looks like an asterisk because it is one. And this essentially says, move any file with some characteristic into a place. In this case, we want to move any file that has the word file in its file name to ITE folder 3. To do that, we'll simply type move file asterisk. This is saying if it has file in the name, it's fair game, space, period, period, backslash, ITE folder 3. It's moved the two files, and if we use dir, you should see they're now gone. Now what we're going to do is triple check that all of our doc files contain the information that they should, and then we're going to rename one of those files. So, first, simply use type or more, either works, to view doc2_new.txt. And you'll see it is unchanged. Now we want to rename it. So we're going to use the ren or ren command, which is a shortened form of rename. So ren doc2_new.txt, and we're going to rename it to file.log. Now you might have noticed that we've also changed the file extension. This is something you can do when renaming a file. So, hitting enter, it hasn't thrown an error, which means it's most likely worked. So if we do dir, we can verify that the contents have not changed by simply doing more or type file.log. As you can see, the text is the same. Since we're nearing the end, we'll want to get rid of some of the files that we've created. To do that, we can just do del, which is, of course, short for delete. Now, as part of this walkthrough, I am going to give you the answer, so make sure you've put the answer that you think is correct in your document first, before I give you the answer. In order to delete any files with doc2 in the file name, we would simply do del doc2 asterisk, and if we do dir, you should see that doc2_copy and doc2_move are now gone. If we want to delete every file in the directory, we can simply type del asterisk, hit Y, and then dir, and you should now see we have 0 files. To move on, we'll go to ITE folder 3. To move on, let's view the contents of ITE folder 3 using, you guessed it, dir space // ITE folder 3. As you can see, we have file 1 and file 2 present. We're going to use xcopy and robocopy in this section. To start, we're going to use xcopy. Remember, we're still in ITE folder 1, so modify your commands accordingly. xcopy space // ITE folder 3 space period. The period is important because it is saying that we want to copy the contents of ITE folder 3 into the current directory. The period is a shortcut so that we don't need to specify ITE folder 1 every time. Now, hit enter. 2 files have been copied. Now we've copied file 1 and file 2, which we can verify by typing dir. You'll notice that we're only copying files, not the extra directory that is in ITE folder 3. ITE folder 4 stays where it is, and only file 1 and file 2 come along for the ride. For further information, you can use help xcopy or xcopy /? In order to figure out exactly what you need to copy everything using xcopy. To give you the answer, we're going to use xcopy space /e for everything, space // ITE folder 3. And if we hit enter, type A for all, and it will have copied the files over. So dir shows that we have file 1 and file 2, and we also have ITE folder 4. If we cd into ITE folder 4 and dir, we have ITE folder 5. cd period. We're now going to use the robocopy command. Robocopy is much more fully featured than xcopy or copy. For instance, it can account for network interruptions, it can skip identical files, and it can mirror directories, keeping both the source and the destination directories in sync with each other. Let's copy ITE folder 4 to sysadmin using robocopy. To do that, we type robocopy space /e space c:\\ users backslash sysadmin backslash ITE folder 3 backslash ITE folder 4 backslash space C colon backslash users backslash sysadmin. Now, if we hit enter, this should give us information such as when it started, source and destination folder, if we stipulated any specific files, which we didn't because we used the /e for everything switch. And this should give us information about any extra directories that we have, as well as the directories, files, and bytes that were either copied, skipped, mismatched, failed, or extras. Now, if we go to sysadmin and type dir, you should see ITE folder 5 is now in the sysadmin folder. Now, since we're at the very end, we want to delete both an empty and a non-empty directory using what is called the rd command. To do so, rd ITE folder 2 exclamation mark and rd ITE folder 1. You might notice that it failed because it says the directory is not empty. We now must do a little sleuthing to figure out what exactly we need to do to get it to delete a non-empty directory. So to do so, we can simply type in rd/?. Now you might notice we only have two switches. We have s, which removes all directories and files in a specified directory, and q. We really only want to focus on s, so to do so, just type in rd/s ITE folder 1. It should ask you for confirmation. Simply type yes, and then hit enter. And then dir, and you'll notice that 2 and 1 are gone. We can now delete the other folders that we created. So we can simply do rd/s ITE asterisk using our little wildcard command, and then hit enter. Type y, hit enter. Oh, I forgot we can't do that with this one. So we'll just have to do rd/s ITE folder 3. And then ITE folder 5. And they're gone. Now you can type exit or hit the X button, answer the rest of the questions on your document, and you're done. Good luck.